Have you ever felt like the map felt empty? Like there's spots where there's villagers right next to each other, but then there's other areas of the playable map area where you can go, but there's just like nothing there. For example, over in this corner, or even this section here past the axolotl. Whereas like this section up here and all these houses here just have nothing to them, and new players might explore these areas trying to find the villagers, even though that's just totally unused. And that's all you thought about? Well, when I was speedrunning, or put this way, routing the speedrunning using glitches and bugs and that, I was looking at every angle possible, and I noticed that over this mountain here, there's actually some redstone slash command block work located right behind here, and this thing here led me to quite a bit of discovery of unused contents in this map, which I'm going to show you in detail in this video, of which consists of two fully cut missions. This one right here, which involves the Sculk block, and the villager over here, all about the bundle. Here is what I pieced together for the development of these missions. Firstly, the map started development actually way back in version 1.16, because this area here, which is used in the starting cutscene when you press the button to start the map, this is the area used, and it was actually built before the 1.17 blocks like the dripstone that were added. Two ways how I know it was on 1.16 and not on a newer version is it's made on a super flat world where the ground is at 0 and not at negative 64. And the other thing is they used placeholder blocks for each of the new 1.17 blocks, and the sections that were going into the negative values, they built higher up. And then after they developed the area bits, they made a function to make it easier for them to convert the stuff. And as you can see, the melons turn into deep slate, the end stone here turns into the tough blocks, and what other items do we have here? We have some all the different copper iron ores, of which in the opening cutscene they hadn't swapped the placeholder textures for mining the stuff, and it appears missing, so that's just like goof. This other blocks here for the diamonds turn into the geo blocks, and stuff like that. All the sections of the maps are built, just that due to the changing Y heights throughout the maps, you can see how sections are raised up instead of being down here, because once they are lower, they would hit the old build limit, so they're all at different heights. But anyways, all the different sections of the railways and that you use to go back, they're all still here. However, there is one extra railway system that is built here, but is not used in the main playing area. And that's located roughly back behind the back of the town hall here, where I have this minecart here, where it ends. And it actually goes up here, and you can actually see power rails that you actually ride on. And then there's this area back here, all for it. Now this belongs to the inventor villager, which would be most likely stationed at this house here with the slime blocks and that, because this structure here by itself is actually called the inventor house. And then these buildings along here to the side is also named the inventor to the right or to the left. Now is asking for Sculk here, but when you go in, let's see here, if you interact with it, in this case the NPC is just blank and there's nothing to do. Now there is 6 states of this villager, meaning that there's 6 different interactions on it. So we know the first one would be to accept the quest, and we know that that's the last one is to as kind of like an afterthought of after the mission is completed. So that means there's 4 different requests or information that would be received from the villager. Now, in the game files, there's actually 2 other villagers that are not accounted for. which most likely would belong to this mission here. We have the panicked villager and a warrior guard villager. Now, so most likely, based on those two characteristics here, we know that they be involved with the warden, which of the in development. This mission here was named Sculk and also warden throughout the game files. So based on that, we can establish a plot of asking for the Sculk block as a redstone device where you would have to encounter the warden, and then along the way there would either be a warrior to help you or to warn you that there was a villager that was happening to be trapped down there or something. Now this is all guesses, but based on that, that's how it would go. And the mission would end by you taking a minecart ride like the other missions. And this here is actually fairly complete. And this is what it would have looked like in game. Now I had to use the one function to replace the placeholders with the actual items, and then there's one messed up section here where that's supposed to be lower and connect down to that. But other than that, the entire minecart system towards the end of the quest is fully built and compressed. And that there actually drops down and comes out right here, of which the town hall would be there and the inventor house would be there. Now one thing to that's especially interesting is that there's barrier blocks right here to prevent the minecart from going too far. And this is where it comes out, right here, and that's where that was before. And there's the same barrier blocks. So you can tell that this was used, but then was discontinued. And then even if you mine back here, there's nothing here. But the dripstone on the roof and the ceiling, they're actually still here if you dig this area out big enough to actually find them. Well, now since this mission here is not in a complete or functional state at all, we can't know the exact details. However, there is some structures and functions, aka code, that was left in the file, so we can take a look at them. So, the first one here is summoning the actual NPC, which I did here, roughly, which could be used by doing that. And as you see, the first one here has the icon, and there's 6 of them, which all you can do is just change this number to spawn the next one. But as you can see in adventure mode, none of them actually have anything. Now there is another one here that is the lodestone compass, which doing this, give me a second here, gets you a lodestone that is supposed to point towards them, but as you can see, it's not going to it. And it's called the warden, which also right there says work in progress. However, as you can tell, it didn't make the final cut. And the reason why it's not pointing towards anything is that there's no lodestone available for it to go. Like for example, the builder here, if you look under it, you can see a lodestone under it, and that's how it connects to. So that's the reason why this here doesn't work. Now there is some functions. So looking at the functions, we have second here function. We have inventor. Second here inventor load. And as you can see, it goes by the Sculk. We do that, and you can see this here would be the completed state of what it does. And then the other ones here we have would be the S load. That guy there. And as far as I can tell here, it doesn't make too much of a difference with that one. And as you can see, it also fixes that house there. And then there's also a fixed water one, fixed water. And at first, you might not see what difference that makes. But what it does is there's some errors in the water when it forms there. So this here just does a fix for that there. And there's one spot here where it fixes the water. And then the all load ones essentially does the load all does a combination of both of them, and that's what is there in the game files. Now moving on to the next one here, the gardener. The best way to actually showcase this one is just to show what it looked like from just playing the game. So here we are at the house. There's the shepherd that's going to trick you to fall for the snow. jumping forwards, falling down here. There you go. And proceeding to the main area. Where everything's located at. Now I just run right to the new villager, which we can see there next to the gardener house. So just to look at the house beforehand, because my people just overlooked it, is that there's a broken up thing there. There's actually the indoor gardening area that has some flowers, and it has this back room here that's completed with the fireplace there, and then open upstairs where there's like a whole bin. So looking at the villager here, this one here actually is to functional state. So looking for some flowers to pretty up the house, and want to gather some flowers in a bundle. So let's help them out. As you can see, we're ordered to follow the gardener. And then we just decide to, let's not. Or if you're in speedrunning, you just go ahead, the villager just stops. So you actually have to stick next to it, and the gardener will keep walking. And as you can tell from here, going to visit the brother, which is, you can actually see, it just popped in there now, called the rancher. So yeah, it's just a case of following it. And if you interact, it's the same thing. Or it's just okay or abort. And it's just up the cliffs here. And as you can see, this section here, if you played those platforms there weren't actually there. But in a different part of the map, there was actually a well, it wasn't a structure file, but there was a copy of it with that path there. So I imported that there, which we'll use a little bit later. And now that he's here, talk to him how to get a bundle. So the gardener here now says, this is my brother, he can hook you up with some rabbit hide, go talk to him. So okay. And then this guy here, want to help craft bundle, you gotta get 6 rabbit hide, because that was the crafting recipe before it was removed. Collect some on the farm, talk about payment later, press thank you. Now the one line code that replaced the villager, it didn't clear out the old one. And as you can see here, rabbits spawned in this pen. So we have to kill some. And there you go, I killed one extra, whatever. And there we go. Now since they're on top of each other, it's hard to click on the right one, but if you go inside, do you get the 6 rabbit hide? And you press OK, counts it up, yep, that's enough. And now the next goal is you also need string to craft it. So, in order to not to pay for it, you can just help clean out the home, which is just 6. So this is the home here. So that, and go here, and then there you go. You can go to brothers to talk to them, and then you can see after cleaning the house, you can craft the bundle, and then you have everything to craft a bundle now, so press OK, and then that's enough. Now, as you can tell, we can't really craft a bundle because it just doesn't exist. And this guy here just says, my brother they used to live along together, but then the rabbits would sneak out and eat the plants all the time, so they moved apart. Now, there is a way to advance forwards, which right now I'm having a hard time. Essentially, what you want to do is get access to that the first villager. Okay, I'm just going to redo it. I'll just fast forwards, I guess. But I guess to test the abort feature. See, there we go. I reset, and the villager is back down here. I'll forward back up, and I'll show you the next step. Most of the time that doesn't happen, but yeah. And I'm playing on 1.18 because it works better on that version than the 1.19 currently. Okay, so back. Essentially what you want to do is try to open up this guy where it asks for that. So then just by stepping this again, you happen to just skip forwards. Which now bypasses the need to craft a bundle, which doesn't exist. So now going back to this guy, we got the bundle that we don't have. Are you ready to collect some flowers? Yes, we are. So then we follow the gardener again, which is kind of slow and doesn't have a walking animation at all. Unlocks a place there. See those flowers, which currently there's not really any. And then remember, collect those and visit. Once you visit the house, get them, and be waiting at the house. Once you get it, talk to it again. Okay. So now we follow this path here, which is the imported section from elsewhere in the map by 00. Now you see the parkour is not too hard here. And then it comes back up around here. And here's the poppies that we're talking about. And this area up here, as soon as you reach it, there you go, you gotta collect them. And this area up here is actually able to, you can get to it without importing that thing, just that you have to kind of go backwards on the quest line, but we'll see that a little bit later. So the flowers that you actually want to collect are located, one of them's back here, the other one is hiding underneath this hill here, this guy right here, and then the last guy, the orange tulip, is right here. And then we break the last one, the minecart spawns for us to take a ride back. And then essentially you can, at the end of this entrance, you can walk back up and get up to that area. So you don't need that parkour area. And then we just follow this minecart here. And then this here is just normally accessible for normal play if you take the if you branch off the other minecart route for a different mission. And as you can see, just like that, come back to here, and then we can go to the main villager. Actually, just first of all, let's go up to the brancher's currently bugged, so I'll avoid that. Anyways, so going back to the gardener now. Hey, you got your flowers requested? Yes, we do. And there you go. Please put them in the chest here. However, we don't have a bundle, so when we put one in, appreciate Chester, but it's not what you're looking for, which is not good. And also it bugs out and gives you a chest and a hopper. Now, because of that, we're supposed to put them in a bundle, and that's what we're supposed to do, but no bundle exists. So what do we do? Well, since earlier I mentioned that the map was actually mostly built in 1.16 before the bundle even exists, they had to have a placeholder for it. And that the placeholder just happened to be a brown shulker box, since that's what looks the closest to a bundle. So I just stored some there behind the scenes. So now once we put this in, of course the redstone didn't work. No! I'll be right back. There we go. And say add yes, those are the flowers I want. Thank you. And there we go, quest thing. And it kind of bugs out there where it says text bundle complete. And now as you can see here, it redid the garden area in front here. And it fixed up this house. However, since it was a little bit in development, it's a little bugged out there. But other than that, it fixed up this house here. So give me a second here. Heading back out to the gardener here, you can redo the quest, and he says thank you for bringing the flowers, and the two houses look a lot nicer because of you. And then I can see here, it fixes up going up this way. Just to speed up by going this way here. And you see it also cleans up his house as well. And then if you see, thanks for helping out my brother, no problem. And there is also a this line here, Robert came to the house recently, added some flowers and decoration. Doesn't look as run down anymore. The rabbits seem like change too, which is nice. Even though there might not be any rabbits because I killed them all. Anyways, then the main entrance to the house that was prepared was actually here. The cobwebs are gone. String remains and the skull bug's out, so you get a free skull for it repairing. And yeah, so there was just some minor changes to actually get to work, and we can go over that now. Now to get the gardener quest activated and working in your map, if you want to try it out yourself, there's a couple things that you have to do. It's not much, but it's required to get to work to very well fully functional state. The first thing is I actually kind of hid a command block to fix a little bit of the redstone here, which is basically what this repeating command block does is it clones that chest where you have to put in your final bundle, even though it's a shulker box, and basically it clones that block there that has the item once you put it into it, and it pastes it over the mountain here in the redstone command block area, which I'm flying to right now, where there's a couple other changes you have to make in order to make it work there. So flying to it. And then if you put in a item into this guy right here, it would, this here is the hopper that tells you, oh, you gave me the wrong item, you get stuck there. So what you have to do is, you see two chests there without this hopper and this redstone here. So you just have to add this hopper. This hopper here, if you put a shulker box in it, essentially it compares this hopper to these hoppers here. But these ones don't work, but the first one does, to essentially compare if you gave them the right item. And that's how it gets the quest complete. And then this item, so essentially, we clone that into, sorry, that's wrong way around. The command block back there clones the chest that you put items in into this chest here, because the code itself puts it into this item that only checks to see if you put in the wrong item, but not the right item. So essentially, I clone into this one to see if it's the right item. And then if it's the right item, you pass. And then if it's not the wrong item, oh, I need to clean the hopper so you can use it again. And that's what this little bit of redstone here is set to delay. So if it has the right one, it can run the code. But if it's the wrong one, shortly after, it'll just replace the hopper to clear out the hopper to be used again. And then that is the redstone part done side. And then to actually trigger the villager, so you can actually interact with it for the first time, you can either make it so this check here is good, and then it'll finish the quest, but then the grass will be green and all that. So the way I do it is using, give me a second here, is by using the command to summon the gardener, with the 9 being the last one. You can essentially, in here, go into here, and then say thank you, and then you just press redo quest, and then that would actually put the villager into the map so you can actually start it. So, and then you can just dispose of the villager afterwards and say goodbye. So then the one last optional thing, you don't need it for the quest to be functional, but you can do it to make it feel more complete if you want, is you can go and import the parkour that's used to get up here, which is basically this section right here, because normally this here was just gone, you couldn't actually get up there. Mind you, you could take the railway backwards and work your way up. How you do that is you can actually fly this way towards 0, 0. Second. And there's a big void gap here because they didn't want the players discovering from the main playing area. You see it start loading here. This is where they were building out the individual sections to be imported or replaced later. And as you can see from here, the sponge blocks of placeholder items in the meantime, since they were building it in 1.16 most likely, fly over to this far side here, and we see two nearly identical ones. And as you can see, I put a border around them, which you just have to do. But this here is the actual parkour. This here is the grass complete one, which when the quest complete or the area complete, it would probably import that one. And then this guy over here is the one that I imported here that has all the dirt in that. And then you can use that function to replace the stuff. And then there is the size if you want to copy it. I did offset 0. You can name it whatever as long as you use the same guide to load it. Safe disk is recommended, and then make that size. And because the thing's too big, you have to do a second one here, and you just do copy that, and then there we go. And then you just match it up with the hitboxes to line up to mesh it in good. And you can just use that function command to actually I can do that here. Function convert placeholders, and as you can see, you can just go in and actually swap out the placeholders for the actual items. Now, I also these villagers aren't normally here. I generate them here as the structure to show all the villagers in the bundle quest that's working, because when you play it, sometimes you bug out and you skip the cobweb section or something, and you might actually miss a unique villager. So just to quickly show them all, this is the quest accept one, followed by the follow me to get to the rancher. This is the brother, take a look at him. That's when you're collecting the, what do you call it, the hide. And then oh, I see you got it, go for the flowers now. Follow again, and be waiting at the house. Oh, do you have the thing? And then there you go, thank you once you complete it. And then for the rancher here, here's the thing where you go and get the hide, and then you get the hide and check, and then I would say, hey, this here is when you're cleaning the cobwebs, and then telling you that you have everything to craft it, and this says thank you for helping out the brother. This most likely would probably occur once you crafted the bundle but hadn't finished the mission yet, and then after you finish the mission, you get this one here. And that's pretty well all of the hidden content in this map that was just cut out of the game because Mojang kept changing and removing features from the cave and cliffs.
Is the bundles not in part 2? Is this like the horn that I'm imagining?
Yes, can't say more than yes, it's not in part 2.
Okay, yeah. I was just like, is this another one of these 2020, 21 dreams? Like, I was just confused here. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.